how does someone know they're genuinely trusting in Jesus' death as the only way to heaven and not just saying the right thing, not actually believing it?
That is a very good question. So number one, do you still think to yourself that I have some goodness in me? That's a good start. Do you still think, oh yeah, but I'm not that bad, or yeah, maybe this will help me? Are you still distracted in your thoughts by your own goodness? That's a good start there. And so if you're still thinking your goodness contributes, or practically going, oh, I did that wrong, hopefully God doesn't send me to hell, that's a good sign that you're not. But if you're not thinking that way, that's a good sign that you are. Number two, believing in Jesus paid your sin. Is that what you not just thinking that's true, but are you thinking that is what saves you? Are you thinking that is the reason that you don't go to hell? I don't know your mind, but I know that I wake up every morning, and I often, the first thought through my mind, other than why is it so early, is the thought in my mind is, I often reflect first thing in the morning at God's mercy towards me. I think to myself, and this is a very regular phrase that crosses my mind, how did God know what I did yesterday and not kill me in my sleep last night? And now it's a rhetorical question in a sense, because I already know the answer, because the answer is because Jesus has taken the punishment I deserve. And so thinking like that, thinking gospelly, shows that you're believing the gospel. The next one is that it says in Hebrews chapter 12 and Revelation chapter 3 that the Lord disciplines those whom he loves. If you're finding yourself being more and more aware, more consciously aware of the wrong things that you've done in your life, more consciously aware of the things that you're doing and hating the very thought of doing them, that's a good sign that you are legitimate children, because it goes on in Hebrews 12 and Revelation 3 to say that if you aren't being disciplined, you show that you're illegitimate children. A father disciplines the one he loves, and God disciplines those who are his children. If you're not being disciplined by God, you are illegitimate children. And that one ties into the fact that you'll start noticing that you hate the very thought of doing wrong and you love God more. But be very, very careful there. Don't point inwardly and say, well, I must be a Christian because I'm living better. That's not the point. That is not the point. Because any time that your object of salvation or your trust in your salvation starts turning inwardly to yourself, saying, yes, I'm saved because I obey, then you're in dangerous ground. Because what about the days when you don't obey? So make sure that even on your good days, on your best days, on your worst days, on your best days, think to yourself, wow, God has blessed me with the opportunity to serve him today, and he's been very kind in enabling me to do this. And still knowing that even on your best day, it's merely God's grace that gets you to heaven. And then on your worst day, that you're thinking, yeah, it's only by God's grace that I'm getting to heaven. And so, yeah, basically, if you are thinking regularly and continually and consistently that I have no other argument, I need no other plea, it's enough that Jesus died and he died for me, then that's a very good evidence, because that's what the Bible does. That's its distinguisher. John chapter 3, verse 16. I'm sure you know it. For God so loved the world. He loved the world in this way. He gave his only son, that whoever believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. Belief is the distinguisher between the one with eternal life and the one with eternal punishment.